Is this thing going? Is this working? Okay. This channel is about working on aircraft and flying those airplanes. So come take a seat and let's go for a flight. Well, what a year it's been. 2022 has come to an end, and this is a wrap-up of the entire year. Yet the beginning of the year started with uploads from flights from last year, which was a late trip to Granger Creek, an easy-to-reach airport tucked away in the shadow of Mount Rainier. However, the environment around that airport is tight and can be quite challenging. With the reward of decent-length runway to land and take off from, it is a must-go-to airport.
Be prepared in this area, it gets very narrow. And if you're planning on landing to the south, you're going to want to hug the Palisades cliff line on your left-hand side.
Check it out up here. The lows from this year were replacing the left-hand fuel tank, which was becoming an issue because of severe internal corrosion. And the replacement of a cylinder because of a broken ring. Now both of these jobs needed to be repeated because the new tank developed a crack shortly after being installed, and the replaced cylinder broke yet another ring. Hopefully the new piston will remedy the cylinder breaking rings, and the weld in the tank will hold. I'm confident that there won't be any more issues going forward with these two problems. Speaking of continued trouble, the engine did not get enough hours on the cylinder change to be confident enough to go cross-country. So after a couple of long, hard nights of putting the new cylinder back on and trying to get the flight hours in to feel confident to take it across country, this is not what you want to see. So I guess that's why the brakes decided to start leaking right before Oshkosh. I had hotel reservations and airline tickets that were purchased. Yeah, I know, silly me. So I made the decision to drive to Oshkosh this year. This did allow me the opportunity to see more attractions than any other road trip I've taken in the past. On the way there, I visited Little Bighorn, and on the way back, had some handmade fudge from Uranus. No, really. Uranus, Missouri. It's on the old Route 66. Someday I'd like to take that route by air, and there's still towns along the remainder of the route, some with airports. For example, Amboy, California has a dirt strip right in their backyard. But that's for another day. Earlier this year, I made another tips and tricks video. I always get good feedback from these maintenance videos. I am a certified mechanic who makes YouTube videos, so you could say I'm a YouTube certified mechanic? Anyway, I'll dig deeper to see what I can pull together for a third tips and tricks. I'm thinking along the lines of how a mechanic does a pre-flight. In June, to help break in that fresh cylinder, I traveled to Columbia, California for the Stinson Club fly-in. I also got wrangled into doing my very first flower bombing / chicken drop and finished off with a spot landing competition. Both of these were a first for me, and it was a hoot. I was a little bit nervous at first, but I was surprised with the results. You'll have to go see for yourself. On the way to Columbia, I traveled down the east side of the Cascades to Sun River, Oregon, the site of my accident in 2015. Sun River never seems to disappoint when it comes to wind, and it was just as windy, maybe a little bit more, than that fateful day. But I landed with no issues, and the airport manager allowed me to stand in that very spot where I flipped over. we were able to make a good landing and prove we can actually handle the winds here at Sun River. It was rather cathartic and therapeutic to overcome the memory of that day. But the accomplishments don't stop there. We've added new airports to the logbook, Enumclaw and Anacortes. Enumclaw is a challenging airport because of its size. It's really about 1,500 feet long by 25 feet wide, and that's being generous.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight technician, your captain speaking. You guys definitely should have taken a boat. Do you know how short this runway is? This is literally the shortest runway in the world, and we're in a pretty big plane to be landing here. So, if you did any amount of research, you should have known better than to be on this plane right now. But I'm going to do my best. I can't guarantee anything. Be on the ground or in the water momentarily.
It's a private airport, and you do need to have prior permission to land there. Visit their website at enumclawairport.us for more details. And Anacortes has the best fuel prices right now, and with a cool approach over the water and plenty of runway to land on, it's a neat little place to visit.
Anacortes traffic, Denton 50 kilo, or left downwind, the 36 at Anacortes.
We rounded out the fly-in season at Hood River.
Nice working, Stetson. Block capacity on the right. Copy that, got you in sight. 50 kilo.
Hood River has its challenges despite being less than 2 hours away, with the record number of fires in the western Washington this year. Late summer trips were very challenging, with numerous TFRs, lowered visibility, and even IFR conditions over many areas, as witnessed by a trip back from Friday Harbor, which required a special VFR clearance to get back into the paint field.
650 kilo, thank you, runway 34 right, clear to land. Clear to land, 34 right, Stetson, 9250 kilo. Okay, let's get slow down. Notch of flaps in there.
Check it out here. So what's in store for the rest of this year? Well, for one, the first thing I plan on releasing is a deep dive into the wings on flaps. I'm sure you'll learn something new about this unassuming flight control. Later on, we plan on flying around and exploring the eastern half of Washington, showcasing more airports taking part in the Fly Washington Passport program. Additionally, finishing up the rest of the southwest Washington and northeast airports around the San Juan Islands to include a not well-known part of the U.S. It's only accessible by Canada if you drive via car. This would be Point Roberts. A curious little leftover from the division between the U.S. and Canadian border. If you fly there, there's no need to involve customs, and you can keep your actual passport at home. I have an acquaintance and fellow YouTuber that I've been trying to meet up with to do a collaboration with. This hopefully works out soon, as I'm sure our paths will cross soon enough. Until then, go check out his channel at Ginger the Plane right here on YouTube. But finish this video first. I like to think that the mechanical problems are behind us, and hoping for good weather to do some local camping trips in Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. Additionally, I've been introduced to the president of a local air museum that has a fascinating history in the Northwest. There's a surprising number of aviation museums within a few hours' flight. So there'll be trips this spring to visit several local aviation museums other than the one at Hood River. Now, I don't want to give away too much, but I think this will definitely be a treat. I'm always open for suggestion, so if there's a place you'd like to see, or if you have a favorite place, let me know in the comments down below. I try very hard to respond to each and every comment, good or bad. I take what you say very seriously and under careful consideration. I do appreciate the feedback. So with that, I'll wrap things up for now. I'll see you in a future video coming up very soon. And as always, may your flying be good flying. Now, I'm not some rich and famous YouTuber asking you to like and subscribe to this channel. I'm an aviator asking you to like and subscribe to this channel, because that's the way YouTube works. If you don't click those buttons, YouTube doesn't know that you want to see more aviation content and won't show you more. But if you don't like what you've seen, please leave me a nasty comment down below, because that's the way the internet works. May all your flying be good flying. I have an acquaintance and fellow YouTuber that I've been trying to meet up with to do a collaboration. I'd like to thank. That was the redneck. Additionally, finishing up the rest of the Southwest Washington and Northeast around the San Juan Islands, to include boy, I got way too many words in my mouth.